Welcome everyone to the 6th and final round of the Glendale, Wisconsin Battle Road. I am Pooka, and we are going to go check out this match between the two undefeated players going into the final round. We have Franco Llamas on the left and Joel Moskow on the right. Now we have two differing, backgrounds between these two players. Franco, he's actually just aged up into Masters. Joel, he's been around for a little while. He actually brings his family to all the tournaments, and his kids always do very well. But today, this is his time to shine. He is 5-0, one more win, and he'll take down this battle road. So we got a battle between the young and the, well, not so young. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, so we'll just say Joel is a little less young than Franco. Alright, so it's going to be a Darkrai Hydreigon match against Joel's just straight Darkrai Sableye deck. I guess the fancy name for it would be Hammer Time. He plays Crushing Hammer and Enhanced Hammer, I believe. So it's just pretty straightforward, Darkrai, Sableye. Nothing else, just I'm going the Night Spear, and I'm going to Night Spear. So he's taking a much simpler approach compared to the Darkrai Hydreigon approach that goes, well, my deck's going to be a little less consistent, but when I set up, I have the option to get all these fancy tricks with moving energy around and whatnot, max potion, and we'll see which philosophy comes out on top. In this format, we've definitely seen simplicity win out a lot of the time, where a lot of players just don't set up a lot of the time. Maybe just due to the lack of draw supporters, the lack of support Pokemon, it's just been tough for people to set up. But we'll see what happens here. It's just a single game. You never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, our camera view got worse every round, it seems. The glare has not gone away, and Joel's deck and discard pile is completely off screen. But that's okay, we'll work with it. At least we can see the field. We can see Joel's Darkrai's at least. So he has two Darkrai's. Franco, on the other hand, has a Dino active. I believe a second one benched, and then a Darkrai on the bench as well. Now, it looks like Joel doesn't have a whole lot going for him. He has not played a supporter, at least not that I know. He's actually going to retreat an Energy Switch, and then it looks like a Max Potion and a Juniper. So he's actually going to discard two catchers. He realizes, alright, well, actually, maybe he should have played a catcher, since the Darkrai gives free retreat. Maybe he would have been better off just bringing up the other Dino. So, I'm not sure. But he's going to play a Crushing Hammer and gets ahead, so it doesn't even matter. That energy is off the field anyway. And this is something, if you're Franco, you got to be a little scared about. Anything can happen with Crushing Hammer. You can just sort of lose all your energy really quickly, and then you don't know what's going to happen from there. Joel is playing an Ultra Ball here. I'm thinking he's going to have to go for Sableye and Junk Hunt at some point. He's burned a lot of resources so far. Sableye is really nice because in a format where, you have to play cards like Ultra Ball and Juniper and all this stuff that just kind of waste all your resources, you have no way of getting them back. Sableye is there to help you out. You can just take a turn to go up, Junk Hunt, I'll get two catchers back. Alright. Now I can play two more catchers this game that I had to discard earlier. So it works out really well. Sableye is probably the one actual support Pokemon left in the format, but he really doesn't do a whole lot unless you have a lot of cards in your hand already. So not really a support Pokemon in the greatest sense of the term, but when it's all you got, you're gonna play it. Alright, now Franco had two Juniper away. Looks like one Juniper and then a Hydreigon as well, if I'm seeing that correctly. He at least had to discard a Hydreigon. That's a little painful. You never want to get rid of those. That's going to be your key in this matchup. But it doesn't look like Joel is going to do anything anytime soon. His Speed Darkrai deck, I believe that was his first turn, but it might not be very speedy. He might struggle a little bit to get anything going. He had a rough start with not getting the right energy on board. Doesn't look like he has a supporter in his hand. The main struggle with getting a quick Darkrai is actually getting the energy into the discard pile so you can use Dark Patch. If you can't do that, then you're going to be slowed down quite a bit. Now it looks like Franco does get his Wireless out, and he's just going to retreat to his Dino. And I can't see if he has a Hydreigon in hand. Doesn't look like he does. But we'll see if he can manage to get that out. That's going to be a big key. So the pressure is really on Joel here to get the quick start. Like I said, his deck is much simpler. His deck is just straight up Night Spear. It doesn't have any real tricks to it. So if he really can't do anything, then if he gives time to Franco to set up, that's not going to be good. If Franco gets completely set up before Joel does any damage, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, Franco's got the same card. He's got Darkrai, except he has a Hydreigon as well, and he can move energy around. But we do see Franco playing his third Juniper already. This is going to be the third one that hits the discard pile. He had to discard one earlier. So he might be light on resources for the whole game. This is just the danger of, you know, playing Juniper, but you have to. It's just the sad reality of the format. We don't see a Hydreigon though, so it doesn't look like he'll be able to Night Spear. So a very slow game between these two players so far. And Joel is going to play that Enhanced Hammer, discard the Blend, and top decks an N. Wow, that's going to really propel him and give him a shot back at this game. He was drawing nothing. He had no supporters, no nothing. He couldn't even attack. Couldn't even use Junk Hunt. So this is going to be a big turning point in the match. If Joel can somehow manage to get a Night Spear this turn, that would be a huge play. If he could somehow get a Night Spear and catch out the Zweilous to knock that out, that would be an even bigger play. But we'll see. Looks like Franco drew about 4 supporters in his hand. Now I do see Joel has an energy switch and an energy, so he could pull off a Night Spear this turn. That's perfectly realistic. And it looks like he's just going to go for it. He realizes, alright, if I let Franco set up, I'm probably not going to win. I need to just go for the jugular. Let's just Night Spear right now. Start taking prizes and see where it takes me. So he will knock out the active Dino this turn. He's going to bench another Sableye. And let's see where he targets this 30 damage with Night Spear. Usually you would like to target down these Wireless because that's the thing that's most likely to evolve into Hydreigon. And that's exactly what he's going to do. So your strategy when using this straight Darkrai deck is going to be, alright, I'm just going to hit his Hydreigon twice with the 30 damage from Night Spear. And then after that, I'm just going to catch it out when it's got 60 damage and Night Spear to finish it off. That way I can cut off my opponent's energy manipulation, and this just turns into a straight Darkrai battle. And if that's the case, if it's just a straight Darkrai battle, my deck does that better. Does Franco get the Hydreigon? Ooh, he gets it off the third card on the chair, and so he's going to be looking good at this point. He was a little slower to start off, but now he's going to have his stage 2 in play. He's going to get a third energy down when he plays that Blend. And he's going to be able to start Night Spearing, which is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to catch it back up in this race. And he also catched out the Darkrai without the Eviolite. This is a smart move. He needs to be able to get a 2-hit knockout on these buggers because once Eviolite is on a Darkrai, Night Spear only does 70. And if you can make it just... if you can get a 2-hit knockout somewhere, that's going to be a huge deal. He also decides to put the 10 on the Darkrai that has the Eviolite instead of targeting down a Sableye. Either way is acceptable. And wow, Joel has another Max Potion which just wipes the damage right off the board. So it looks like Joel is saying, I'm still going to play Max Potion. I don't need your fancy Hydreigon tricks though. I'm just going to go ahead and heal it. And if I have to discard the energy, whatever. I got Dark Patch. I got Energy Switch. It's all good. Joel did play a random receiver there. I apologize, it's off screen. I couldn't quite tell what supporter he got. It might have been an N. I caught a glimpse of the corner of the card, and yes, it was an N. So it looks like he's gonna play a Charen instead. Looks like he was probably going for a Juniper. And he decided, I'd rather play the Charen than the N. So Joel really needs an energy to retreat, that's for sure. If he whiffs that, then he won't even be able to attack this turn, and he's gonna take a hit on his Darkrai. And if that was the case, maybe he should have saved the Max Potion and just said, you know what, I'm gonna get knocked out, whatever. I'll save the Max Potion for a later time. But he does have the Dark Energy, alright. So he's just gonna retreat to his fully powered Darkrai. He has a catcher in hand, but he's probably gonna want to hold on to that for the turn where he knocks out the Hydreigon. And just Night Spear the active for 70, but no, he's gonna target down that Dino. This is a little bit of a risky play just because Joel has discarded 2 catchers already with his initial Juniper, but he's gonna take the prize lead, which is pretty important actually. So I do like that play. At some point he should be able to just junk hunt for 2 more catchers, and then he'll have access to those again. He has a 2 prize lead, so he'll have the luxury of doing that. So I don't mind that catcher play at all. Maybe a more conservative play would have been to wait, but I also like this because, you know, Franco probably has Max Potion in his hand, and if you hit the Darkrai for 70, it's just going to get healed off, most likely. And really, you would not like to waste a Max Potion on just healing 60 off a Hydreigon if you don't have to. Obviously, you probably should if it's going to get knocked out by Night Spear, but if you really can, you'd like to hold on to those Max Potions for a much better time. But he's just going to Night Spear for 70 to that Darkrai, and then 30 to the benched one with the 1 Dark Energy on it. And looks like Joel plays a lot of Max Potions because he's got another one in his hand. I don't think he'll be playing it this turn, but the option is definitely there. And right now, you gotta think Joel has the advantage, even though you're just like, all he has is Darkrai, but it's working. All you need is Darkrai, apparently. And it's just, even though Franco got his complete setup, it's still a little nerve-wracking for him. If Joel can manage to hit a catcher this turn, he can knock out that Hydreigon and take away the energy acceleration, and I think all the dinos have been knocked out from Franco's board. He won't have any way to even accelerate or manipulate energy anymore. And I can't tell if that glare of light... Okay, it's 2 Sableyes, alright. I didn't know if one was a dino or not. 2 dinos have been knocked out already. So this would be the 3rd one to hit the discard pile. And most players play 3. Some play 4. But I would say the norm is to play 3 dinos, so if you take out that 3rd one, you can just turn this into a straight-up Darkrai battle. And like I said before, that's going to give the edge to Joel if he can pull that off. Now, he does have a Juniper in hand. He probably doesn't want to get rid of that Max Potion, but, you know, he has to. Just needs to Juniper this turn. And say, whatever, it's going to happen. Maybe I can just junk hunt for that later. But we'll see, does Joel draw his 4th catcher? That will be a big deal if he can. The odds, of course, are not very likely of that happening, but it certainly could. If he does, that would be an absolute game changer. I think he would absolutely win this game if he gets the catcher this turn. He could take out that Hydreigon, and then no more energy manipulation for Franco. No more tricks with Max Potion, and Joel's going to have a 3 prize lead, and he's going to have 2 Darkrai's pretty much powered up against... Well, Franco will have a Darkrai powered up, but, you know, he's going to be behind. Now, Joel does decide to Dark Patch to that bench Darkrai. He's actually going to decide to retreat to it as well. I maybe would have preferred a Junk Hunt this turn, just to go for catchers. Or maybe even like a catcher Max Potion, something like that. Just to give himself more options. But I don't think he cares about that. He's just going right with a Night Spear. And he's going to hit the active for 70. And then something for 30. We'll see what he decides to hit for 30. Should probably go for the Darkrai. But we'll see what he decides to go for. The Hydreigon, of course, is a bit of overkill. You don't want to put too much damage on it because then it can just get max potioned. You're definitely not going to knock it out with 5 Night Spears, but he decides to go for it anyway, saying, you know what, I'm going to make you use your max potion there. If you don't, that's going to get knocked out very slowly by Night Spear. So Joel's deciding that that is the better route for him, and Franco actually does not have any max potions in hand at all. This is really unfortunate for him. He just doesn't have anything going. But he does have a Mewtwo in hand, so he could catch out that benched Darkrai with the 80 damage on it, and go for a Mewtwo, but he decides to N instead. He probably would have gotten a knockout, but he probably doesn't know whether or not Joel plays Mewtwo, so committing all of your energy to that sort of a thing, probably not the best idea. I mean, it could be a great idea if you knock that thing out, but it's very risky because if you lose all your energy on your Mewtwo, then you're pretty much done for. You need to keep your energy in play when you're using this deck. So, I can see why he wouldn't do it, but sometimes it's definitely worth the risk to do that. Now, he does draw a couple Eviolites, but no max potions still. Still nothing on that front. He really needs something soon. He needs to be able to start healing this damage off, otherwise, not only will his Darkrai's get knocked out, but his Hydreigon will get knocked out as well. And that's just going to be all sorts of trouble. He's deciding to retreat this Darkrai. I don't think he actually needs to, because he knows Joe's field is nothing but, well, the Pokemon that are there. His bench is filled. All he has is Darkrai. The max he can do is 70, 90 if he has a Tool Scrapper. And there's just not enough damage on Franco's Darkrai to knock it out, even if he has a Tool Scrapper. So you might as well just, take the hit with that one, and then try to max potion it. No need to spread your damage around if you don't have to. Because now if Joel has a Tool Scrapper, he can ditch both of your Eviolites, and then hit the fresh one for 90, and then the benched one for 30. And that is going to be trouble, because then both of your Darkrai's are in trouble of being Night Speared for knockouts. So, not too big of a deal, but, it could end up mattering if Joel plays Tool Scrapper. We don't know if he does or not. And if he doesn't, then this is a perfectly fine play. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing will backfire at all. Just some things to think about. Tool Scrapper does exist now, and it can provide some trouble if you're relying on your Eviolites. Now Joel is just going to say, alright, this Darkrai is pretty much done for, so I'm just going to leave him up there to hang, and just keep putting damage on your field. He's already put 90 on that Hydreigon, so he should probably just go for the finishing blow, put 20 or 30 more on it, because then just one more Night Spear would eventually knock it out. But he's deciding to hit the Darkrai on the bench instead. It's going to put it at, I think, 80 damage, and the active at 70. So that was kind of a strange play. You should definitely stick with a target if you're going to. He already dedicated 3 Night Spears to that bench Hydreigon, so you should probably just stick with it. If you've already committed 3 to it, you should probably just try to go for the 5 Night Spear knockout, because there's no real downside anymore. The 10 damage on the Darkrai probably won't do much, and you really want to get rid of that Hydreigon if you can. So I definitely would have liked to see him put the 30 on the Hydreigon now that he's already done it 3 times. No reason to switch gears now, because taking that out of play is such a big deal. But now Franco, he's in a bit of a strange spot. He puts down a Mewtwo, which will be a powerhouse right now because there's, let's see, 5 energy on Franco's board already. So X-Ball can start to add up. This is kind of the problem that we saw with the straight Darkrai deck versus Darkrai Mewtwo in the previous format. Eventually they could just move all their energy to a Mewtwo and take out your Darkrai, and there's nothing you could really do about it. And this is exactly what's going to happen here. Mewtwo's going to come up, there's a ton of energy on board, Franco gets a max potion in hand as well. So all of a sudden things might swing around here. If Joel had just targeted down that Hydreigon, I think he would have been fine. He would not have any issues here closing this game out. There would just be no way for Franco to move energy off his Pokemon, and Joel would just win. But now he's going to be in an extremely difficult situation. He's going to end Franco. He's going to take away that max potion, maybe. Franco might draw another one, but hopefully, if you're Joel, you're just going to hope Franco doesn't draw a max potion to heal his Pokemon, because if he does, this is where you're in a ton of trouble, where he can move his energy off and then just max potion, and then you are pretty much done for. If your opponent can keep healing stuff, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But he does draw the catcher. Wow, this is a huge turn of events. He's going to Crushing Hammer first. We'll see if he flips heads on that. And got it. So he's going to be able to remove an energy from play. This is going to be huge. If he takes it off the active, he definitely weakens Mewtwo's X-Ball. He has the catcher in hand, so he's certainly going to go for that Hydreigon this turn. At least he should. He needs to take that out of play right now. And, you know, now there's just 2 energy on that damaged Darkrai, 1 energy on the other one, and 1 energy on the Mewtwo. So Franco kind of spread himself a little thin. He left himself open to this play. You know, Joel only had 1 catcher left, but you need to just kind of leave yourself open with options if you can. And he kind of did. He left 2 energy on that Darkrai, but now his Mewtwo won't be a very effective attacker. Looks like Joel's actually going to retreat to that Darkrai with 2 energy. Maybe he has an energy switch in hand already, and he does. So Joel is favoring energy switch over the fancy stage 2 Pokemon that does that for him. And you know what? The simpler method is definitely working right now. He had a scary turn there where if he whiffed the catcher, I think Franco would have taken command of this game. But now, heck, Joel is taking the prize lead again. He's got an undamaged Darkrai active. He's got a bunch of damage on Franco's board. And Franco can no longer move energy around. So I gotta think Joel is in the lead right now, but this is far from over. Franco's actually going to play a Juniper here. And looks like he plays Tool Scrapper as well, so he's going to get one of those. Might get rid of the Eviolite on the bench Darkrai. He might be better off actually saving that for a future turn, like hitting the active for 90, and then if Joel plays a Tool Scrapper, or if Joel plays an Eviolite on the active, he can then play a Tool Scrapper and get rid of it, Eviolite, and then still get a 2-hit knockout. So waiting to play the Tool Scrapper would probably be the best move right here. Franco's just going to take a look at Joel's discard pile and see, alright, how much stuff have you actually used this game? Because it seems like you should be out of everything. And honestly, Joel is out of pretty much everything. He's only got, well, I mean, he's played all 4 catchers. He hasn't used too many dark patches, actually. So that might be an issue if he can just power up another Darkrai later. And it looks like Franco's actually going to take the initiative here and catcher out that bench Darkrai with 90 damage, get the Tool Scrapper to get rid of the Eviolite, and he's going to Night Spear and take 2 more prizes, I think. Yeah, that will be a knockout. And he's down to 2 prizes. Joel is at 3. So this one, I mean, this is still a really close game. Joel does have another Juniper, so he's going to have some more resources. I wish I could see how many cards he has left in his deck. It can't be that big of a deck at this point, but certainly enough where he doesn't have to worry about running out of cards or anything like that. He does get a Dark Patch and an energy on his bench Darkrai, so he's going to have another Darkrai powered up. This is huge. He can at least rotate between attackers. Does he have another Eviolite, though? That's going to be a big question. If he does, he'll be able to just kind of withstand the storm a little bit. Eviolite is big. It turns Night Spear from a 2-hit knockout to a 3-hit knockout. But if he doesn't have it, he's going to be in trouble. He might just end up losing to a catcher next turn. So he's going to go ahead and Night Spear the active for 70. And then hit something on the bench. He's going to hit a Sableye for 30. Looks like Franco has a max potion, but ooh, he does not have energy. He does not have anything. He's got a level ball, which he's going to play here. There probably won't be anything to even take out of his deck with that. All the dinos are in the discard pile, so is his wireless. Most people only play one. He's got a couple Ultra Balls he could use to like thin out his deck a little bit. But, you know, discarding those Junipers early on, he might be out of steam. He's not even going to take anything with the Ultra Ball. I couldn't see if there were actually any Pokemon in his deck, but he's not going to take anything either way. And yeah, he just does not have a hand to work with. He doesn't have any energy. And, you know, if he had an energy, he could maybe retreat to Mewtwo and X-Ball. But he doesn't. He doesn't have anything. And this is just an unfortunate situation for him. He's going to Ultra Ball and discard a couple more Pokemon. And apparently those are the last Pokemon in his deck. So basically, whatever's on his board is all he's got to work with at this point. And he's pretty much at the mercy of the deck. He can Night Spear this turn. Probably hit the bench Darkrai for 30. And then next turn he's going to have to try to top deck an energy for Mewtwo and X-Ball. But he's actually going to decide to retreat to the Mewtwo and max potion off his Darkrai completely. I don't know if I agree with this play very much. He's really just taking away every option he has. Now he's really giving Joel the luxury to just retreat and max potion, or retreat and use Junk Hunt with Sableye if he really wants to. Or he can just Night Spear, and I don't think he'll have any issues with that. Joel can just hit the active for 70 and then hit the bench Sableye for 30. And then one more Night Spear will be a knockout on that. And yeah, I really think Joel is going to take this game now. I don't know why Franco decided to heal off his Darkrai completely. He knows Joel is out of catchers, so there's no reason to max potion. There's no fear of that. And just seems like he kind of overreacted to having too much damage on his Darkrai. I couldn't tell exactly how much was on it, but there's no way it was getting knocked out by 10 damage from a Night Spear. And now he's just giving Joel the perfect opportunity to close this game out. You know, sometimes when your deck just doesn't function the way you want it to, you don't have your Hydreigon out there, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? I don't have my strategy working. You just kind of fall apart sometimes. You don't really know what to do anymore. But you got to keep a cool head. You got to think about the situation. Realize that, alright, he doesn't have any catchers left, so I don't even need to max potion that. And now he's got a Dark Patch here. He should probably just go ahead and use that on Sableye and retreat and Junk Hunt, so that he can get 2 trainers back. Joel, he's got 2 prizes left, so knocking out the Sableye won't be any difference. So Franco's best hope is going to be Junk Hunt, get like 2 Dark Patches back, and power up a Darkrai, and go from there. Hope for the best. Because what other options do you have at this point? I don't know whether or not he plays like Shaman EX, but it's going to be a prize because if he did play it, because he's already looked through his deck multiple times with Ultra Ball. So yeah, I mean, all you can really do is Junk Hunt this turn and hope for the best. Try to get a Darkrai powered up. Hopefully you get the one with no energy powered up. And go from there. So he's still deciding what to do. He looks like he is going to go for the Dark Energy on the Sableye. He's going to retreat. He should also save the Max Potion for next turn. Definitely don't play that. Oh, he just played it. Unless, nope, there wasn't enough damage for Night Spear to knock it out. So it looks like he's just really afraid of Joel playing catcher to win the game, but Joel has played all 4. So you have to be aware of this sort of thing. Now he has put himself in a pretty bad situation. He can Junk Hunt. He's probably going to get a Dark Patch and then maybe like a random receiver if there's one in there. Those would be his options at this point. This is really going to be the only turn he can use Junk Hunt, though. So if there's 2 Dark Patches in there, you might consider taking those 2, and then just hope you top deck an Energy next turn. Tool Scrapper is not going to be a good idea. You just need to power up an attacker. That's going to be your best option at this point. If you can't attack, you can't win. You need to power up the Darkrai you have with an Eviolite on it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You need the undamaged Darkrai with the Eviolite on it. But it looks like he's taking a Dark Patch and a Tool Scrapper. I don't like taking the Tool Scrapper there. Odds are you're not going to power up an attacker at all. And you're just going to end up losing, I think. So Joel is going to go down to 1 prize after this turn. He could just retreat and Junk Hunt if he really wants to. But it's probably best to keep the pressure on. He knows Franco doesn't have anything in his hand besides the Dark Patch and the Tool Scrapper. And that is nothing to be afraid of. Even if Franco top decks an Energy, he can't even attack because he needs to promote something. And then Dark Patch to a benched Pokemon. So that's not going to help at all. This is why you need to keep the Energy on the Mewtwo, not max potion it, to give yourself options to promote something with free retreat, so that you can Dark Patch. So it looks like Franco just in these last few turns has made a few mistakes that really they're going to cost him the match. He just doesn't have anything to work with anymore. That's not a hand that's going to work out for him, and he just extends the hand, and Joel Moskow will be the undefeated player at this Battle Road, 6-0, with just straight Darkrai Sableye. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to Franco as well, who did end up taking second. I overheard Joel saying that he actually meant to play golf this morning, but his plans didn't work out, and he decided to just take his kids to the tournament instead. And what do you know? He's 6-0. And he won the Glendale, Wisconsin Battle Road. So that is going to wrap up this tournament. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this exciting match here in the last round. Hope you guys could learn a little bit of something. And we'll have some more videos up soon. I have been Pooka, and I'll see you guys next time.